Hi, in today's video we are going to be looking at prepayment. This is prepayment from customers. Now this can be categorized into deposits you receive from customers, down payments you receive from customers, or retainers. And each of these categories you've not offered any services, and you are receiving a down payment. So how do we record this using QuickBooks? So first of all, you have to set up the QuickBooks for prepayment. So the first thing you need to do, we need to prepare a prepayment account. So how do you do that? Let's go to list and chart of accounts. Now, prepayment is an advance payment that we receive from a customer. So it is a liability, but a current liability. So I'm going to right click, then create a new account. And then from the drop down here, you can select other current liability. So as you can see from here, these are some of the security deposit retainers from customers. So click continue. Now we're going to name this customer prepayment, right, to be specific. So customer prepayment account. So we can see this from our balance sheet that we have an outstanding service we're supposed to deliver to a particular customer. So we can just go ahead and save and close. Now the next thing we need to also bring up is an item. In QuickBooks, if you want to create an invoice, sales receipt, anything that has to do with your customers, you need to bring you are supposed to make use of item. So the item we're going to create here is a prepayment item. So we'll still go back to list, then we'll go to item list. Now if you don't create it here, you can't see it when you are creating an invoice or a receipt. And we're going to record the prepayment using a receipt. So we need to create the item. So I'm going to right click, then new. Then I'm going to make use of service. Service, very, very important. Make use of service. So I'm going to name this payment. Okay, and we are going to select the account that we just created not long ago. Okay, we won't have a prepaid rent. Okay, this is customer prepayment. So this is the reason why we created the account. Now we can link it to this prepayment item. When I click OK, so now I'm going to click on, let's go and record the prepayment. So I'm going to be using sales receipt. So I'm going to use sales receipt. So once you click on sales receipt, now you can decide to design this template to fit in for prepayment. You can click on the drop down here. You can see we have just 3 templates. You can also customize that. You can customize your data layout, manage your templates, and create specifically for prepayment, because now you can see we have other description like quantity and stuff like that you might not need when creating a prepayment transaction. So who are we receiving this payment from? Let's say we're receiving it from Yaxin. Okay, now we are going to deposit so the money we received was received to the bank, but at it being we are receiving the money as cash and we plan to take the money to the bank later on, we are going to select undeposited fund. But now we want to deposit. The money was received from Mr. Yaxin through our premium trust bank, and we fix the date, the number. You can decide to enter any number. Then if it is paid through check, you can enter the check number here. So now I'm going to click on the drop down and we're going to be selecting the prepayment. So let's say the prepayment, you can put a description if you want to describe this prepayment. So let's say the amount is 10,000. Okay, so we have 10,000 saved. Now we are going to now click save and close. So but what we like to do is we want to ensure that we check our report to see how these affect our report. Okay, now let's go to report. We go to company and financial. Since it is other current liability, let's go to balance sheet, and okay, I think this will be okay. So if you look down here, you should have customer prepayment under other current liability, that is the most important thing, of 10,000, right? Of 10,000. Then if you go to, I don't think we should see anything from profit and loss because we've not actually did any transaction. We've not carried out any transaction. So now the next thing we need to do, how do we apply these deposits that we receive? So now it's time for us to offer the service to an invoice. So we'll go to customer, then we'll create an invoice, and so we are going to be transacting with Yaxin. So we are going to be transacting with Mr. Yaxin using today's date or any date that a transaction is occurring. So we are going to select, let's say, training. We want to carry out a training now, but this training is going to worth, let's say, 8,000. Now remember, the down payment that we received from Yaxin was worth 10,000. So we can still charge for just 8,000. So how do we do that? We are going to record this using minus 8,000. Now what this will do is that it's going to reduce this invoice amount to 0, indicating that Yaxin is not owing us any amount. Then secondly, this 8,000 is going to be subtracted from the 10,000 that we initially recorded as a down payment under the other current liability that's reflecting in the balance sheet. So we're going to go ahead and save and close. So once we do this, let's quickly check our report to see how this will be reflected, to see if we have this recorded. So then you can see the customer prepayment is now down to 2,000, and that's because we have 10,000 prepayment initially and we have an invoice of 8,000, which has reduced the prepayment down to 2,000. But can we just quickly check our profit and loss, because we've carried out a transaction, so we're supposed to see a value of 8,000. So you can see we have a service income of 8,000. So this particular way of recording our prepayment from the customer is correct. So if we happen to carry out another service to the customer and we select Yaxin, for instance, then we go ahead to select that same training. Let's say this time around is 1,000. So it means we are still going to select our prepayment of 1,000, but a negative 1,000. So the same will apply as it did before. So once we click yes, we'll go back again and you see that we have our total income as 9,000. Then if you go to the balance sheet, we should have a balance of 1,000 when it comes to the customer prepayment. Okay, so in our next video we are going to be looking at how to refund this 1,000 in case we are done with the customer and he or she is not requesting for another service from us. We're going to now show us how to do a refund for this prepayment of 1,000.